is like 10:30, isn't it?
Yeah.
The alarm's been going off.
But North Hudson FD for the win.
I'll talk about this tomorrow.
Steven's half asleep. I'll talk about this tomorrow. We did call the front desk and we did not have to evacuate. We're okay.
Also, the room neighbors called the front desk, and there was some other dude down the hall that evacuated and came back up. So, we triple checked. It's okay that we're up here.
Hello and welcome to Tuesday. Oh, good morning. If it's morning, it's not even morning yet. It's just early morning. And welcome to Tuesday. Last night, after we went to bed, probably like an hour or so after, there was a terrible noise, and it turns out it was the fire alarm.
Dan's phone alarm.
No!
If it was Dan's phone alarm, it was the loudest phone alarm ever. There was cops everywhere.
There was 4 fire trucks.
4 fire
It
trucks.
was ridiculous.
There's all the
There was
stuff.
a fancy fire truck, like an extra long one that needed a guy
That had
in
the
back
ladder?
to steer.
So there was all
So
this
we
junk.
were gonna be safe because the ladder would have reached us.
Hopefully.
It was a false alarm, but it was, you know, everyone got out of bed and was like, oh god, and they had to put clothes back on and try and go downstairs. And I didn't make it out of the room because I was so out of it, and I was like, it's a false alarm, right? It's a false alarm. And then
Stay in bed until somebody says yes.
until I die, and then it turned out to be okay, so I went back to bed, but that was an adventure. It's 5:21.
And we gotta go.
We're gonna go downstairs. The shuttle for the hotel is too far away from the airport, so they don't take you there. So we're gonna call a Lyft and get to the airport. It's really early, but that's okay. We all had a good amount of sleep.
Really hoping that there's Lyft people
I'm sure there will be.
driving around.
Yeah, we haven't actually requested one yet. So worst case scenario, there's not, and we figure out something else real fast. Yeah, Windows 7 Enterprise Edition, which keeps the monitors running, I guess. And now we get to actually eat breakfast, which is the babka that Mal got at, excuse me, that Mal got at that bakery that we went to yesterday, that we got the black and white cookies. So I've never had this before, but I'm pretty excited, and we have an entire hour to just kind of enjoy it. Yeah, that looks delicious. I just don't know how the heck we're gonna eat it.
Me neither.
I just like grab a chunk.
Sure.
There we go. It looks delicious. It also looks extremely messy. It's good.
It's good.
It's really messy. We did it. We're back in Myrtle Beach, and it's only like 10 a.m. I mean, it's good. It just feels really weird. Kitty, kitties! Don't run from me, boys. Hey, guess what? We're home. Yeah, he's good boys. You're probably wondering where on earth we were. We were in the big city. Yeah, it was neat. But now we're back and we can pet you for as long as you'd like. Even though it's good to be home, there is no rest for the weary, as we've got to go back out immediately because Mallory's Sonic the Hedgehog Intro to Painting the canvas.
Sold while we were gone?
Sold, and that has got to be put in the mail. All right, little buddy? He said, I guess, I don't know. That's what you want to do.
Don't leave me.
So Mal just got that all boxed up, so that's going out. And we also have no food because we only plan to have as much food as before we left. So we are going to both take the painting out and do grocery shopping. Yeah, and also get a bite to eat. We were thinking that when we got back into town we would eat with Dan and Lindsay, but right before we left we had some food. Oh, and even though we had that babka, I took...
needed a knife.
We didn't actually eat it. I took a bite out of it, and we didn't have any weight. It was so messy, it's like crumbly, that after I ate my bite, everyone else was like, yeah, we'll just eat it later. So then instead of eating that, because it was such a mess, I got a breakfast sandwich. Everyone else got a breakfast sandwich.
I got a bagel with lox.
I got a bagel, and then by the time that we were done eating that and got back to Myrtle Beach, everyone was like, yeah, we're not hungry. So now that some time has passed, we'll be able to actually eat lunch. Also, I've talked about it before, but it seems like once I transitioned to shoes, I've transitioned to shoes. So I think that sandals are going to be out of my life for the next few months. Chick-Fil-A, you're asking dumb questions. To dip or not to dip? What does that even mean? Why would people order nuggets?
And not dip them.
Are there people that do that? Why do they? Why? I mean, I assume that people order nuggets just as a way of getting more sauce into their mouth. I mean, that's the reason I order them. Painting mailed, humans fed, and humans supplied for some amount of time. We have a lot of fish and vegetables, asparagus, and things like that, because it's probably no surprise we didn't eat, you know, super great in New York, so we have to, you know, fix that by eating healthy.
Did you show my gift?
I didn't, although
Really excited for it.
although it really doesn't go along with the healthy initiative I'm talking about. Yeah, go ahead and explain what you got there.
So, when Nicole was here, she was talking about, we were all talking about cookies and how Nicole's mom used to make Spritz cookies. And Nicole was like, oh, we should make them. You guys have a Spritz maker. And neither Lindsay nor myself had a Spritz maker. And then later on during Nicole's visit here, she's like, what's your address? While we were gone, this arrived to the house.
It's a cookie
It's a
maker.
Spritz press. And you put the dough in this, and you have like a plate, and you squeeze out cookies. And Nicole's going to give me her mother's cookie recipe for it, and I'm really excited about that.
Which is super sweet, but was a very bad transition from we're gonna have to eat healthy, and Mal's like, did you show the fact that we're gonna make cookies? And I'm like, oh god. So yeah, we have groceries again, which is good. And we're back home, and even after doing all that, it's not even that late. We still have a good bit of the day left to get stuff done and work on stuff. There's a new problem coming down the pipeline, and that is the fact that even though we aren't leaving town for Christmas, Dan is. So he's going to have quite a bit of things to get done for the channel before he goes back home to spend time with his family, and he's going to be gone for a little bit. So yeah, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be on me to get stuff recorded early enough so I can get it to him so he can get it edited. So, as is kind of the slogan for the house, no rest for the weary. Also, because it has been a few days since we opened some of these advent calendar gifts that we got from Calvin and Bick, Mal is now digging through like a child on Christmas because there's several things to open.
They're message cards. They're cat shaped.
Oh, that's cute.
They're so cute. And there's also this cat tea ball to put
Which is really neat. And there was tea with it.
There was tea, and Sagan was really sniffing this. Sagan, do you want to sniff some more? This is drawstring bag, and it says Days of Enjoyment. Enjoyment.
Oh, that's cute.
Purrmaids.
When you said Purrmaids, I was like, what is a Purrmaid? That's cool, but I can't put that in my mouth. We got some work done and came over here for dinner. Mom made, what's the official name? Ham and bean soup. And it was delicious. I still have a little bit left. Also have some crackers. And since we didn't eat that babka earlier, we're going to have that babka for dessert. And I think that doesn't spoil anything because you don't know what that is.
I have no idea what a babka is.
Fantastic. Then we can still have that. Also,
As long as it don't have bobcat in it.
I don't think it has bobcat in it, although that sounds kind of interesting as well. We just wanted to give you a thing. There you go. I mean, you really shouldn't be surprised. We tend to get you just a little tiny, just a little thing from the place we went.
Aw. Oh, that's nice. Another wonderful souvenir for our curio.
Yeah.
That's very nice. Well, that's perfect, actually, for being in New York.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't actually go see the Statue of Liberty. But yeah, we saw it from... We could see
Thank
it.
you guys, that's very sweet.
Well, you're welcome. We thought that'd be a nice little addition.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we finally cut into the babka, and it's good. It's really good. It's chocolate, but it's also got walnuts in it. Maybe another type of nut, maybe just walnuts. I can't tell exactly. But this is like super authentic. It's very, very good. I'm glad that we actually were able to, bring it back so you guys could, try it.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. I mean, we only know about it from Seinfeld. Finally, at the end of the evening, got everything set for tomorrow. Had a wonderful time with my parents. Got to talk about the trip and all of our experiences. And now it's time for bed, which means that you're gonna have to leave my lap pretty soon, little guy. I know you've really missed me. He's gonna get fed soon, though. So I know he's looking out into the hallway like it's gonna be any time now. I wanted to quickly say a few things about New York, because I don't want to do a dedicated, New York Reflections video. It was kind of a shorter trip, so I just wanted to talk about it here and say New York was a wonderful trip. It's an incredible city, very much the all-American city. I think it does a really great job of representing the U.S. as a city. There is so much culture, so many people, types of people, from all walks of life represented in one place, and they are all New Yorkers, and I think that's really cool. Everything that I thought of New York City was true. You grow up and you watch movies, and you have different forms of media that kind of shape what this place is like, and I gotta say, it really helped prepare me for what New York was like. I wasn't caught off guard by that. Everything that I felt about the city ended up being true. It's absolutely gigantic. In fact, you really don't have an idea of the sense of scale until you've been there a few days and you've walked around, because we spent basically the entire trip only exploring the lower half of Manhattan. We didn't even see everything in the lower half of Manhattan, but that's all we explored, and there was still another half to that borough, and there's 4 other boroughs to New York City, so it's absolutely huge. I mean, it's like gigantic. And one of the coolest things about New York is that there's so much stuff just cram-packed in the city that you can stand on any street corner, turn all the way around you, and you'll see tons of different places to eat, tons of different places to shop, tons of different things to see that are interesting. And you can walk 1 block north and do that again, and it all, resets. There's all these new places to see, new places to eat. And it was just a really incredible feeling to see the city in person and realize how big it was, and how you could walk, a block and everything changes. There's all of these incredible things to see, do, and eat, and it just felt like it never ended. It just went on and on forever. Now, I think that a lot of the stereotypes about New York is true. New York definitely has a reputation for being having rude people, and as a Southerner, someone who comes from an area where not only are we rocking Southern hospitality, but also we live in a tourist town where people have to be nice because their jobs depend on it. It felt extremely weird to go to a place where people were, what we would probably describe as rude. Now, some people were overtly rude. There was a few situations that I was in, I just could not believe how rude people were. When we went into one of the bakeries in Little Italy, the woman in there could care less if I was in there, and gave me sass that I only bought like 2 things, because I was like, I'll have a cannoli and a cookie, and she was like, is that it? And she was like disgusted. She never said thank you. And I had a few interactions like that,
But even beyond those, like just the general interaction was kind of, maybe, I don't think New Yorkers would describe it as rude, but I think anyone else, especially from like the South, would, where it was just kind of like, get on with it. You know, not necessarily a, you know, I'm being rude to you, but like, you know, don't waste my time, just spit out what you need and let's, you know, keep it moving. Now, it wasn't that way in certain places. The hotel wasn't like that. The Nintendo store felt almost out of place, because all the employee interactions that I saw were like more on the lines of like what you'd find here. And that might just be because it's like a big corporate thing and Nintendo is really pushing down their throats, like, you have got to be nice. But then when we went to some of the other places, you know, it definitely wasn't like that. So that stereotype from my experiences definitely ring true. But the city was big and beautiful. I always felt safe. And it may be different in, you know, different parts of the city. It may be different in different boroughs. But as far as where we were in the lower half of Manhattan, even at night, you know, it felt pretty safe. My only big complaint was the weather, which can be helped by coming back at a different time of year. And I think that is something that we'll do. I don't know when we will get back to New York City, but I would really like to go back, mostly to explore museums. Most of this trip was about exploration of the city on foot, which was fine. It also made the trip fairly cheap. We tried to eat fairly cheap, and we did a lot of, you know, just sightseeing. And it was a pretty inexpensive trip, which was nice. But if we ever go back, I would really like to spend some time going to various museums, because that's something Mal and I really enjoy. But I would really want to go when it's not so cold, because that absolutely affected my enjoyment of the city. And there's times where I wasn't even able to film things because it was so cold. I had my hands in my gloves, in my pockets, with the hand warmers, and the idea of taking my hands out of my pockets, out of my gloves, to get out the camera and try and film something was just like, you know, I shuddered at that thought because it was so miserable. But at some point we'll go back, and I won't need hand warmers, and then maybe we'll be good. Now, as one final note before I end this vlog, you may be able to tell, but I'm kind of losing my voice, and hurts a little bit to swallow, and I feel ill. I feel like I might be getting sick, and I don't know if that was just because of being out in the weather, or going from the cold weather back to this warm weather, and my body's just in flux. But I really hope I'm not getting sick. It's not a good time for it. I mean, it's never a good time to be sick, but especially now, looking at the calendar, I'm like, nah, let's not do that. So I'm gonna get a lot of sleep tonight, and I'm hopefully gonna fend this off. I asked Mal, and she said that she feels fine, so it might just be me. But hopefully I can stay well, because as we move into the Christmas season, there's still quite a bit of stuff that I've got to get done, and this would be a bad time. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. New York was a blast. Loved it. Would highly recommend it. You absolutely owe it to yourself to see it. It was an incredible experience, and I would absolutely love to go back at some point when it's warmer. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?